Time for the business news now with Delano D'Souza. Delano, we're starting with India, where Donald Trump is about to make a visit.
Donald Trump Jr., in fact, the U.S. president's son, headed to the country. He'll be staying out of politics and focusing on his sales skills. This as he intends to sell more than $1 billion in luxury apartments. There are no federal rules which prohibit Donald Trump Jr. from traveling to India for business purposes. But analysts say the president's son peddling the president's brand at the same time Donald Trump is in office is flat out bizarre. Ivana Scatola reports.
It's a brand that's stamped across skyscrapers all over the world. Now, the Trump logo is set to be launched in several developments across India. Donald Trump Jr. is in the country to help sell more than $1 billion worth of luxury residential units built by the Trumps and their local partners.
Each apartment is about 6,094 square feet. We've got 5 bedrooms, living room, a separate dining area as well as a separate deck area.
The properties have already been promoted in several national newspapers, with advertisements reading, "Trump is here, are you invited?" Although there are no formal federal rules prohibiting the younger Mr. Trump from pursuing business interests as head of the Trump Organization, which was handed over to him when his father won the presidency, the trip does come at a time when the president is strengthening diplomatic ties with India, sparking accusations that the family's business interests risk clashing with political ones. There are concerns that the family is using the president's status to further its property sales, something not helped by the fact that Donald Trump Jr. will also be a keynote speaker at a business conference in New Delhi this week, which will be attended by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. India is the Trump Organization's biggest international market, with 4 real estate projects underway in Gurgaon, Kolkata, Mumbai and Pune. In 2016, the Trump family earned as much as $3 million in royalties from ventures in the country, according to the president's financial disclosure report. The ultra-luxury units are being bought for up to $1.5 million each, and Donald Trump Jr.'s visit this week is expected to further boost sales.
Well, staying in India briefly, and the largest fraud in Indian banking history. And do listen to the figures.
This is a real head-scratcher, Eve. The Punjab National Bank is trying to figure out how $1.8 billion was siphoned off between 2011 and 2017. Initial reports suggest the misuse of the SWIFT interbank messaging system and incomplete ledger entries. Now, a middle-aged bank manager and his subordinate have so far been arrested. They have been accused of colluding with select account holders by allegedly issuing letters of undertaking. Antwerp-based billionaire jeweler Nirav Modi and companies linked to him have been named.
Yeah, 1.8 billion. That's a fairly impressive siphoning.
That's a huge chunk of cash, huh?
Yeah. Meanwhile, 4 countries are banding together to counter China's growing influence.
That's right. Australia, the United States, India and Japan are in talks to establish a joint infrastructure scheme. According to a report in the Australian Financial Review, the plan, which is still nascent, is seen as an alternative to China's Belt and Road Initiative. The plan is unlikely to be announced when Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull visits the United States later this week. Talks to set up an alternative plan to China's has been brewing since US Secretary of State Rex Tillerson visited India last year.
How are the markets doing, Delano? They seem to have started early trading at least pretty well.
Pretty well, because most of the markets over in Asia are closed for Chinese New Year. We did have the Nikkei over in Japan ending the session in firm positive territory. There you see up around 2%. The Kospi as well closing up around 1%. Here in Europe, stocks have begun the week in positive territory. We see the FTSE marginally higher. The CAC 40 up around 0.3% at this hour.
Okay. Finally, Black Panther, the movie, is breaking records, apparently.
That's right. The movie is a smash hit at the box office. Black Panther raked in $192 million in the United States and Canada over the weekend. The Marvel film has had the 5th highest grossing debut ever. Black Panther cost $200 million to make and is the most expensive movie with a black ensemble, a black superhero, and a black director.
So in its first weekend, it almost broke
even.
Yeah, broke even. That is pretty impressive.
And that's just the US and Canada. We're not talking about the rest of the world. So
there you have it. I must go and have a look.
Me too.
Delano D'Souza, Business News, thanks indeed for that.